And I said, wow, I got the ad. So I said, great, I'll make some pocket money. And my parents have always been very, go ahead and do what you want. I had started working by the 12th standard. I was very, very busy. So I just about managed to give my 12th.
Right. So how did Awara Pagal happen?
Awara, Pagal, Deewana was Feroz Nadiadwala at the time was a very renowned producer. And I think the funniest friend that I have from that film is Mr. Johnny Lever.
Oh my God.
I mean, till date when we meet, we have memes, and when we meet, we have like that look because he's hilarious. Hi, check. This is Preeti.
Check, done. Hello everyone, this is Arjun here from the Entrepreneurs of India, and today I've got a wonderful opportunity to interview Preeti ma'am herself, the sensation of Bollywood. Ma'am, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Arjun, and thanks for calling me the sensation of Bollywood. I wouldn't exactly use those words, but thank you.
Okay. You've been into the Bollywood and now as an entrepreneur also. It is something that makes me feel really good because I think entrepreneur is someone who directly takes the responsibility of generating employment, creating an industry in itself, and directly and indirectly it helps a lot of people. I think that's a very good initiative, and you need to have that.
I think guts is the right
word. Exactly, that is what I was
saying.
saying. But we would like to focus on your journey, how it all started, and how you ended as an entrepreneur. If I'm not wrong, your first movie was Rajshri. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So that wasn't a movie. With Rajshri Films had started another division called Rajshri Music, and I did the first music video for their first album.
Oh, wow.
So that music video actually was, once the first video was successful, they actually made it into a series of videos culminating into a story, a lot of people do think that it was a movie.
That's it.
But it wasn't a movie actually, it was a series of music videos. But yes, that's the first thing that got me noticed in the industry.
Right. Did anyone from your family was directly or indirectly connected with Bollywood?
Not at all actually, Arjun. I am born and brought up in Mumbai.
Wow.
But my parents are as far from films as they can be. There is nobody in my family is connected to films. In fact, when I started acting, everybody was like, oh, it's the first Sindhi actress who's come after a long time, because the last one they remembered was Sadhna.
Oh, right.
So after that, even like there hasn't been, so my family is so very far, even nobody even from my community was into films at all.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder, how does one out of the blue enter the industry and make it?
I tell you, many things in life are preordained. Unfortunately, I have to quote some Yash Chopra and some Rajshri film dialogues. Kismat mein likha hota hai to ho jata hai. But for me, it's just so true. A lot of people ask me, tell me about, how was the struggle like and things. But I don't have a story for that, because I was only 16. I was just out of college, and I had just started modeling. I was doing a few ads. Right. That was also completely by chance that I was modeling, because I wanted to, I wanted to miss a couple of classes in school, and I went for the auditions of these ads because they were looking for a fresh face. So I went with my friends and something new to try. And I said, wow, I got the ad. So I said, great, I'll make some pocket money. And my parents have always been very, go ahead and do what you want, and they've never stopped me from anything or wearing anything, and they've been very, I must give it to them for being so modern and very with the times. They always were with this. So that's how my modeling started, and immediately from that I did a couple of music videos, and so things just kind of kept rolling. And by the time I was in my 12th standard, I was working so much that I wasn't able to continue college, and I had to, so the 13, 14, 15, I had to do it through correspondence.
Wow. That's very interesting. I completely agree when you say that, some things are just destined to happen. But even if you are young, when you see most of your friends are just bunking the college, or, just enjoying or roaming across Mumbai perhaps, you are working there. So was it a good experience, or was it that you miss or something?
I had started working by the 12th standard. I was very, very busy, so I just about managed to give my 12th boards. I was doing a couple of films down south.
Wow.
I didn't give it a thought. You know, you're saying, ki, did you think that, oh, other people are, you know, I didn't really give it that kind of thought.
Right, right.
I was just doing the work as it came, and as I was doing the work, I was realizing that I'm really enjoying this.
Oh yes.
I was enjoying it. I was
yes,
not
yes.
just making money. The making money was a plus.
Oh yes.
Of course. the money was great, but there was also a sense of that this is something I can do or I'm good at. I feel that I am good at it.
Yeah. It's making your whole family, your community very, very proud that, you know.
Yes, it was.
One
In
of a
fact,
kind in the family.
yes, and it was. Everybody was very happy and very excited in my family as well as my friend circle to see me grow.
Yes, yes. And then you did a lot of movies. Mohabbatein is one of the Bollywood's, you know, greatest movie. Take us through that experience. You know, how was it for you? You know, acting with Amit sir, Amitabh Bachchan sir, Shah Rukh sir, and so many great actors, including yourself. But how was that time? Because I'm 26. I was born in '96, so I don't. All I can see is, you know, just the old movies and try to think, oh, what a wonderful time it was in 2019. How was it for you? How was it?
Yes, it was a very different time
Yeah.
in the whole entire film industry as well that time. And I don't know because I just I was young. I was not from the film industry. And when I met Adi for the
wow.
first time, for me it was like I was not aware of the legacy of Yash Raj films.
Wow.
As such, and when I went to meet them with my dad, because my dad used to
Right.
travel with me always,
Right.
because I was
Yeah.
young, so
Yeah.
if we had to go anywhere outdoor, it would be my dad who
Yeah.
would travel with me. So we went to meet Adi, and we just you know, he had to sit us down and explain to us that if we sign this film, because there was no screen test for me or anything. They had seen a couple of my modeling ads and my music video with Rajshri Films, and Adi was like, "I want you in the film, but it's not a like oh yes, I'll do the film. It's not going to be that easy.
Naturally.
It requires a commitment from
That's
you.
right. That's right.
And are you ready to give that commitment?" That's what he had to sit us down and explain to us. That it's not going to be like, oh, theek hai, main film mein acting kar. It's not that easy to be an actor or an actress. I mean, and especially today, if you want to be an actor, you must be complete. You must be as good as a Tiger Shroff or a Hrithik Roshan in your first film, because you're going to not get any other chance. And I think very few people had that vision at that time, and Aditya Chopra was one of them, that these newcomers that I take in the film cannot come untrained.
Right, naturally.
So they have to be trained, and plus especially my character was that of a classical dancer.
Oh yes.
And I have not danced one day in my life.
Oh my god.
And the stance of a classical dancer only comes with years of training.
Oh, definitely.
So that was the one aspect that they really had to. Plus your Hindi, हमारी हिंदी बहुत बम्बैया होती है. It's not.
Apun, you know.
Yeah. So our Hindi was rubbish. Everyone, all the people who Hindi was bambaiya. Voice, you know, you have to learn a lot about voice throwing, voice, how to modulate your voice for the emotion, for the scene number 2, that. Then there was regular dancing also, like, you know, we trained with Farah for that as well. And we had theatre training with Barry John, who was flown in specially from Delhi to train us. And I had a whole separate section where I had my Guruji come in every day at 6 o'clock into my home and train me in Kathak, Bharatnatyam and folk as well. And Tarun Mansukhani at the time was assisting Adi. So he had to, his job was to come every day to my house with the camera and record that every day how much improvement is there.
You know, when people see the movie, they see that, you know, they are born to do this. But I think a lot of things comes easy to you.
Especially in Mohabbatein, it was a training period of 8 months that we had.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this was separate from training, that we had separate training classes with Karan as well, and Adi as well, for scenes and things like that.
You know, people see it coming in very easy, you know. We see that, okay, they got a chance, now they're making it. But I think what most people don't understand and, you know, see is what the amount of effort that all the artists put behind, you know, getting that 1 minute shot or that 2 minute or a few second shots, you know, and it goes out throughout the years. I've watched Awara, Pagal, Deewana like anything. I am a huge fan of that movie.
Actually, I'm a huge fan of that movie because that's the kind of film that you can watch hundreds of times, and every time I see it, I remember the fun times we had.
Oh god. And I know you from there, because when I was, I think, 13, 14, and I, start, and then you started knowing that, all these actors have, they have a wonderful identity, and most, you don't know the directors, you don't know the producers and all.
Yes.
And then when you grow up, you see, okay, he was the one who produced it, or he was the one who directed it.
Exactly. I was just
there
like
was
that.
no social media that time, and we had no Google or internet or anything,
Exactly.
So we didn't know all the names,
Exactly.
And then when I saw you, I thought, oh, wonderful, that's wonderful. I would like to know. There are very few actors, I'm sure you also must be facing that. There are very few actors that you particularly go and search and see that, oh, who is this
At
person?
that time, yes.
Yeah.
Now,
so,
of course.
Yeah, and that kind of influence you had, in me.
Oh, you're talking about me specifically?
Exactly, I'm talking about you. So, how did Awara Pagal happen?
Awara Pagal Deewana was Feroz Nadiadwala at the time was a very renowned producer.
Yeah.
He was making all these fancy films, and which were a lot like foreign films, because he used to always have cars and action and so even in Awara Pagal Deewana, I remember he had called this, the action was done by a foreign team, and he had this bike stunt guy and all of that.
End of the movie.
This guy from the Middle East who would do these bike stunts on the sand dunes and things like that. We shot that film in Muscat, in Oman, and in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
And so it was not only was the travel great.
Oh my God.
And it was a simple. So when I got the call, I was a bit shocked. I mean, what will I be doing in a Feroz Nadiadwala film? I don't suppose he wants me to drive his Hummer or something. But the role was of a very, very, very soft and trapped in a marriage. Trapped to, she was married to Akshay Kumar, but trapped because they didn't love each other, and then falls in love with Aftab and things like that. So it was for me, it was like a vacation, because we had, so Rahul Dev is still a dear friend. I mean, Aftab is still a dear friend. Amrita Arora is still a dear friend. Aarti is still a dear friend. So they're all still friends, and the best friend, I think the funniest friend that I have from that film is Mr. Johnny Lever.
Oh my God.
I mean, till date when we meet, we have memes, and when we meet, we have like that look, because he's hilarious.
Next level.
He is hilarious. If you have him on a film set, I don't think one can get.
How is he off stage? How is he off stage?
He is constantly imitating either like everyone on the set, whether it's an actor, actress, or even like the unit. You get close to the unit as well because you're shooting for long periods of time. So there was this production manager that Mr. Feroz Nadiadwala had, whom everyone used to make fun of and things like that. So it was fun.
These are memories that you capture for yourself.
Yes.
Apart from what most people see as a movie, and all we can do is just assume that okay, something beautiful must have happened, but you showcase that to us, in a way.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And then a lot of things happen. Marriage happen, children happen. It changes a lot of things in a person's life.
Yes.
How has marriage influenced your career, so to say?
See, again, it was not a really thought out decision. In your life, you meet a lot of people, especially, I started my career very young. So you meet a lot of people, and the films or the film industry as such, it's great. It's a great learning ground, because you meet a lot of different people.
Right.
You travel a lot. You learn to interact with all kinds of people. So you get a large view of life very early.
That's right.
And so when I met Parvin, I knew that he is the one I would like to, because I found him different from everybody else that I had met, or other actors that I had met as such. It was not a decision that I don't want to marry an actor, but in the end it was a good decision, because as an actor he understood the actor's life, because immediately after our marriage, the next day in fact, I left for 2 months for a America tour.
Oh my God.
With Aditya and Udit Narayan for all over America tour. So we didn't really have a honeymoon period. Of course, then while I was in Miami, Parvin came for 2 days, and we had a mini kind of honeymoon there. But but there wasn't a question on it at all.
Right. Yeah. And I was just checking out the story behind you and Parvin sir. Is it true that the first time you said hi to him, he did not know that you were saying hi to him, and he just looked back,
Yeah,
And
so
then you knew that
like I said,
you
you meet a lot of people and you never know, and it's happened to me so many times where I've worked with somebody even and I've not said hi and they're like, hello, I've worked with you before. So it was just like a courtesy hello, because he was a familiar face and I felt it was a courtesy hello.
Right.
And he probably assumed that I'm not, because we had never met before,
right,
so he
right.
probably assumed I'm saying hi to somebody behind him, but he realized
And then
that
he
I
came
was...
to you saying, sorry, correct me if I'm wrong.
He did. He came to me and said that, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were saying hi to me, but you know. But that was a very brief meeting.
Naturally.
And we shot a film together many years later called With Love Tumhara.
Oh, yes.
And during the promotions of that film is actually when we started dating.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You've done lots of films, been a part of lots of other films also. We can jump into your entrepreneurial side also, because I think that has its own challenges.
Yeah.
At every stage, what I'm able to see is, you are getting some responsibilities that you are not professional at, and then you become professional eventually. Like you mentioned dance, like you mentioned, the other scenes. And then it's business. Business is a completely different, game. When did you, thought of starting the business?
So, Parvin and I decided to start Swen Entertainment very soon after
Right.
I think it was in the next 6 or 7 months which we started Swen Entertainment.
Right.
It was initially Very Fishy Films, which was mainly a film production company, because
Right.
that's what we wanted to do,
Right.
is tell stories.
Right.
But it just kind of grew into like an all-around entertainment company. So we changed the name to Swen, which is South, West, East, North.
Oh my God, I didn't know
And which means all encompassing, which is an all-around entertainment company. So we have a digital side as well, where we run a lot of shows. Like the MMA India show is the premier mixed martial arts site, which is directly affiliated with the UFC.
Wow.
And then we have the Sports India show, the Fitness India show, the Monsoon. We have a whole digital side.
Yes.
And then we have our events side. And then we have the sports side, which is Panja Sports, which is another section of the company.
Yeah.
Which is responsible for the Pro Panja League.
Beautiful.
Which is an arm wrestling league, which the idea for which I will not take credit for.
Okay.
The idea is, and the formulation and the conception is completely Parvin's.
Right.
He is more of a sports person. I cannot even call myself a sports person. Yes, in school, like everybody else, I did a lot of sports.
Right.
But the idea was his. But since then, we've grown it together.
Right.
And you're talking about entrepreneurship and business.
Yeah.
I used to always say in all my interviews that I will never be a producer. I'll be anything but I'll be a producer. So I ended up being a producer. I've said in a lot of interviews that I don't want to have my own business. I will work, because who wants to take the stress of that? But here I am, I'm doing something
That's true. No, you're doing a great job.
So you can't. Entrepreneurship or business is not something you train for.
Naturally.
You cannot.
You adopt, yeah.
You just have to learn as you go, because every business is different.
Exactly.
And every section or every time you go one step ahead, it's different. And it's different for every person's. So, you see podcasts and you're reading a lot of things on how do I grow my business, how do I look after people. At the end of the day, you have to go by your instinct.
Yeah.
Business is a lot about instinct.
True.
Plus the Sindhi blood helps.
That's true. I would really agree on that. And then, Pro Panja League happened. Something that I admire is, in the UK, the country is not very big as far as geographical, is concerned. But the country has produced a lot of, footballers and other sportsmen, even though it's a very small country with a limited population.
Yeah.
I see a good potential in India, with the population we have and with the gene that we carry throughout. It's a good initiative when I see that somebody is actually putting efforts in
sports is going to be huge in the next 5 years.
100%.
After films, it's the next thing that people will look to for entertainment, which is why the Pro Panja League is a culmination of sport and entertainment. It's not just sport.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a sport we have the opportunity to rule in the world. We have huge number of players, and they're from all over India, and they have the ability to become world class. But what they required was a stage and the help in training. See, right now they're doing other jobs, and they're all from very lower income backgrounds. So they do jobs as well as train, which is not ideal for an athlete, because an athlete needs to concentrate only on himself. An athlete and an actor, they can't look left and right. They need to concentrate only on themselves. So That is the level we hope to reach with all our top athletes, and we hope that they reach that level. And they have the ability to reach. In fact, right now, the Pro Panja League is called the #1 arm wrestling production in the world.
Wow.
And everyone from, we had Mr. Monster Michael Todd. If you follow arm wrestling, you will know of him. He's one of the legends of arm wrestling, and he was down here for our, we invited him down here for our ranking tournament, which we had in Gwalior with the backdrop of the Gwalior fort. So we are setting the sport in different locations, which doesn't confine the sport to a small area. We set it in front of major backdrops like the Gwalior fort or the Gateway of India, or on top of a casino boat. These are where we've had our events. So it gives this, we want the sport to be larger than life and make it larger than life, and we are the only people who are doing that in the world. So every arm wrestler now wants to come here.
Naturally.
Yes. So I feel that we in India have an opportunity to rule this sport in the world, and Pro Panja League, it's a high aim, but that's what we aim to do.
Yeah, I think things are getting into shape naturally, because the the responsibility is on the right hands, definitely, and it makes me feel proud as an Indian that we are a country that are that has the people who are producing such wonderful things and taking such initiatives.
See, there is a lot of interest in the sport. Like the people are watching it now, and people didn't know that arm wrestling was played professionally. But it's a sport. We all know. I mean, aapne bhi khela hoga when you were.
That's what I did when I was in school.
We still play. So the interest we know is there, because across our social media we have now more than 155 million views.
Oh my God.
Just within 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, that is just the beginning.
Yeah, and this is just with one tournament that we did, the Gwalior tournament. So it shows you the interest that the audience has to watch it.
Right. You happen to be, the way it strikes me, you happen to be very good at management. You're a mother, you're a wife, you're an entrepreneur.
I'll tell you, every woman
How
is
do you
good
manage?
How do I manage? Every female is good at management.
I take that.
Yeah, and I will tell you, every male is terrible at management. I will have to say that. And this is not a female empowerment speech, but this is just something women are better at. I mean, and there's a lot of things that every woman has to handle, especially a woman who eventually is working as well as has children, and take it. It's from my mother and my family to my husband to my children to my office to everybody who works in the office, and I just feel that there needs to be a sense of everybody needs to be taken care of, looked after, and it's only then that you can grow. You cannot grow with if you have animosities all around behind you. So that is That's something personal that I feel I've learned, and time management as well. Time management is something we all need to, and management is important. Organization, keeping a diary, keeping note, and I think any female is good at organizing.
I totally take that. I've seen my mother doing it, and I'm very happy that.
So it's not anything unusual or unique that I'm doing. I feel, but it's something all.
But just like you mentioned that you had to work a lot before getting into a part or something. People don't see that. They strike you as a completely different person. But I think the reality is this also.
Yes, yes. Even during my career, it was mostly people used to always see me as very. I was shyer than most, but timid, soft. Sad always, always either the husband is dead or she's not there, or Dukhyari types. So that was the role I was usually getting, and that's the image that was.
Yeah, that was in Awara, Pagal, Deewana also.
Yeah,
she was very innocent and very
LOC
kind-hearted.
as well, everything. So all most of the films are, except for a few films like Vaa Tera Kya Kehna or something, which I was actually playing my age.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your future plans like?
So right now, top of our mind is the Pro Panja League, because that is our baby, and our that is something that we are working on mostly. But we all also have a film on the anvil. It's with a very big studio.
Right.
And that will be our next focus.
Wow.
But first we will get the Panja League off the ground.
Right.
Early next year, like I told you, is when we start the league.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then yes, I'm also my personal acting projects. I'm also
Yes.
doing a web show. I will wait for the makers to announce it, but it's one of the leaders.
Yeah.
Who are doing that show. And then I have a film called Mahapaur, which means the mayor, which I'm shooting in Lucknow end of this year.
Beautiful.
And it's again a very different kind of role for me. It's a grey character, which it's nice for me to be getting roles and acting opportunities that have different characters for me to play. I mean, the only reason I took a film called Victoria 203, took that up, was because I was playing an entirely negative character. And I needed to shock my system into being out of this whole sad kind of...
Was it challenging for you to take the roles?
It was not challenging at
image?
all to play that character. It was
really?
so much fun because she's fully... she's negative.
Okay.
There's nobody is like that. It wasn't a real character. It was a fictional kind of character because nobody is like that.
Naturally.
The roles that I'm playing now in my web show or in the film are real characters.
Okay.
They are because all of us are grey. None of us is black or white. We all have our pluses and minuses, and we all are selfish to a point. We're all doing something for ourselves, which is how a human being is.
True.
So it's more challenging to play something like that.
That's right.
Than to play somebody completely white or something completely black.
Yeah. Okay. I have one last question for you. Sure. I promise I won't take more time of yours. You know, a lot of youngsters see you, admire you, get inspiration from you. With all the journey, with all the experience, with all the success you've had in your life, what is that one message that you would like to give to the youngsters of India?
I find a lot of youngsters getting restless.
Yeah, that's true.
One needs to be calm and be settled. There is a lot of depression. There is a lot of, and I think people are just bringing it on themselves, because happiness is something you do for yourself. It's not, and you know, you can choose to be happy in whatever situation you are in.
True.
It's easier said than done. I understand that, and you know, when the times get tough, it's very hard to be happy.
True.
But it's a choice you make, and one can be happy in any situation. One is.
True.
And always, you know, family support is an essential part. So I don't think one should ever. Lot of youngsters just angry and cutting ties off with their families, and that is always a no-no, because at the end of the day, they'll only be family for you.
That's
so
true.
I feel number one, always keep family connected to you. Yes, go for your dreams. But don't leave your education and your studies and run away and think that I'm Steve Jobs and Bill Gates did it, so I can. Education is something you have for your entire life. It will always come in use somewhere or the other. So yeah, that's another thing. But yes, go for your dreams. Never say never. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.